one of the most interesting questions I've seen people often ask about learning Japanese is how can you tell when one word stops, begins, and then, or starts another one? And it's really easy, actually. Here's a couple things that you should know. If you're learning Japanese or reading Japanese, what you'll come across is what's known as hiragana, katakana, or kanji. Now, in the case of one word being spelled the way it is, if one word starts with hiragana or katakana, then you have to figure out when that word ends. But it's never, but from what I've seen, and I'm standing by this, no word as far as it being just like the letters, I guess maybe radicals and particles are their own thing. Well, they are as far as grammar goes, but upon spelling a word that is using hiragana or katakana, there's no such thing as one word in Japanese that I know of, at least, that uses both letters. It's either one or the other, essentially. So you'll find a sentence that might have hiragana, katakana, and a couple kanji, for example. But what I've noticed is that if you're going to spell out a word, like I'll give you an example, like konnichiwa, 5 letters. So KO is 1, N is 1, NI is 1, CHI is 1, and WA is 1, and konnichiwa. I'm not sure if you spell that with hiragana or katakana. I forget off the top of my head. I think it's hiragana. But my point is, if you can really kind of grasp the understanding of how the words are set up, not to mention just what the words translate to, rather, really reading Japanese is a lot easier than you might think, because you don't realize how easy it is until you really start looking at examples of it. And here's another one that will get you thinking. A lot of people say kanji is really hard to decide. There's actually 2 ways you can read kanji. Well, decipher what it translates to. There's one, if it's just all by itself, then it's one word. Then it's just one word. But then there are some words like sensei, which means teacher or master, for example, but it can be spelled S-E-N and then sen, and then you have, I think it's S-E-I, if I'm not mistaken. So sensei, yeah. So it's S-E-N-S-E-I, yeah. And those are 2 different kanji letters. So here's the thing about kanji, and I might as well explain this while I already have the time to. When you translate kanji, you can get it 2 different ways. And really it's either way you can decide. If there's one kanji by itself, then it's what it translates to on its own. It's just the one word. I think of it like this. Or if you see 2 or more kanji together, they equal one word as well. So you don't have to translate those 3 kanji. So let me give you an example, okay? If you're translating Japanese video games, for example, if you happen to find one kanji and you happen to be using some sort of a translator, and it happens to have additional settings that say are these other words you're looking for, they might actually give you the rest of the kanji that are associated with that word. It's weird. I didn't really realize all this until today, so it's it gets easier and easier the more you learn it. But you gotta always have some sort of organized list of everything, so that way when you're learning Japanese you're not really confused on it, because despite the fact of not being a confusing language, most people couldn't memorize all the words and letters. It's just insane how much there is to go with it. But that's why I love Japanese, because it's fun. But my point is, though, when you learn Japanese, especially the kanji, you will understand that it does make sense, because it's in the order that it is. They're all next to each other, so it translates to it. But think of it like this: every kanji has it means something, it has a word, or it has a different pronunciation, because the Japanese letters are borrowed, or the Japanese kanji are borrowed from the Chinese letters. And I think there's a couple other countries that do it too, but that's just to kind of give you a few ideas just right now. So hopefully if you have any questions, or if that kind of confuses you a little bit, hopefully that you won't be after thinking about it. Again, if you want to learn Japanese from start, or if you just want to ask me questions, believe me, ask me as many questions as you want, and I'll respond to you as soon as I can, because I like to teach people new things.